So for the last month, I have been working very hard, pretty much every single day, been putting hours into getting this car to the point where it can be driven. In this shot here, you see I'm in the car and I'm taking it for the very first drive just around the backyard pretty much. I just got it running, an hour ago. I checked timing, adjusted everything, did everything we could to get this to run right. And the reason I've been pushing really hard is there is an event that we have been trying to get this car done for. That event is in 2 days, and I am trying to get everything buttoned up so that we can see if we can make this event. All right, guys, we took it around the yard and it went pretty good. So I brought it back in. I've got headlights adjusted, headlight bezels on. I literally just finished doing a front wheel alignment, and I just did it with tape and string and everything else. I finally got everything cleaned up in here so I can move. And I think it's pretty good. I've got the back seat in. I didn't really talk much about it, but I've got the steering wheel mounted. I've got the shift knob and the steering wheel. I have refinished the wood on them, and I've given the car a little extra here on the horn button, and down on the wheels here, we've got Auto Dynamics logos, which was the original producer, manufacturer of this body. So I thought it was kind of cool to throw that in there and kind of link the car back to them and kind of keep it true to where it came. I've got seat belts mounted, just lap belts. They just go around the corner here, bolt into the side of the tunnel, and then down onto the corner of the pan. Rear seat obviously is in place. I've added some hooks to the rear seat so that I can get one of these nets in and some bungee cords. There's hooks down the bottom. This bottom portion I have Velcroed down because I didn't want to bolt it. The Velcro seems to be pretty strong. I put a lot of layers in there, or strips, because for right now, where this is a fresh build, I don't trust the wiring 100% to leave the battery hooked up all the time. So I'm just keeping the battery off, the positive cable off, until, if you're going to go drive the car. Here's all the Velcro. If you're going to go drive the car, then you can easily just slide that on. I'm not even bolting it on for a little bit until I can make sure that everything's good. But anyway, there's my seat down. I had showed you before, the license plates were on. Here's the exhaust pipes. Might be the first look you have of that, where they come out the holes in the body. I've always kind of thought this was kind of cool on this car, where you get this exhaust pipe coming out of this cut hole. It's the reason I didn't fix those on the body. I have added a couple of latches, which still need some adjustment. So these latches, they've got a little arrow on them. And if you twist this latch up on both sides, then you can open it. You can see here, this is what the latch looks like. This is literally old hardware store. I bought I bought like 7 of the 8 of these latches off of eBay. From like a hardware store closeout company, but I just like the look of them. They come down, flip this thing so that it's, which way does it go? In. Flip it so it's facing in, and that little tab kind of just comes over and catches the fiberglass and latches that on. This side is not, that's as far as I can turn it. The fiberglass is a little thick, so I need to do some adjustment there, but for right now, it's holding it down, so I'm pretty happy with that. What else can I show you real quick? I think that's probably it. So that's pretty much it. This car is in condition. We can start kind of doing test drives with it and checking some things out. So that's my plan, is to take this car around the block a bunch of times and see if we can get anything, anything else that's really wrong with it worked out. I've adjusted the rear brakes. I've adjusted the shifter a couple times already just to kind of get it so everything's lining up well. That's kind of it though. Oh, I got a side view mirror right here too. Little one. I got one for the other side, but I didn't want to put a hole in the other side until I'm sure that's what I like. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to start running this thing around the block a bunch of times and see if we can check for bugs and figure things out. Okay, so we've made it around the block. We've put 25 or 28 miles on the car right now. Just going around the block and up and down the street a bunch of times. Everything feels reasonable. And as you see, I have the car loaded on the trailer. And we are headed to the White Mountains because the Meyers Manx Club has a 3-day event up there, and it is Manx Up Mt Washington. So we have signed up for that event, and we will see if this car makes it for the first hour or the entire 3-day event. So we'll run through and show you the whole thing. All right, guys, day one of Manx Up Mt Washington. Today's schedule is a drive through Crawford Notch to the Cog Railroad base station to go to the museum and stuff like that. And then from there, it's a scenic drive up around the north side of Mount Washington and a stop for picnic lunch.
I didn't put my thumb on that. I just put them on my arms. This is a good speed. It's good.
Yep. Okay, from here we are headed to Hurricane Mountain Road that drives out to Fryeburg, Maine. This is a narrow, winding road. It should be a good amount of fun and a good test for the car's suspension. day 2 with a group photo in front of the hotel. And then it's heading up to Mount Washington Auto Road. The car did so well yesterday that we figured we'd give it a try and see if we can make it up the mountain. driving day for day 3. Kancamagus Highway, and stop for lunch, and then up to Franconia Notch. guys, so we made it back home. The car did really well. We made it through the entire 3-day event without issue. I honestly thought that we'd make it like a day, break down, have to fix it, maybe make some of the next day, same thing. And that just wasn't the case. It actually worked out really well. The event was a great time. There were, I believe, 48 dune buggies registered for the event. Each day there was a varying amount. Some people did, 1 day, some people did 2 days, 3 days, whatever it was that they did. I want to thank the Manx Club, and I want to thank the local folks that actually organized the event and put it on. A fantastic job. I had a really good time. My wife had a great time. We really kind of fell in love with this car again, actually driving it and going through the event. And just a great time overall. The car is not without issues. I mean, obviously we talked about I need to finish up the car. I need to do the interior. There's other stuff that needs to kind of be fixed. One thing that we did end up with a problem on is I have a gas smell coming from the front of the car. I don't know if it's my breather tube, if it's the gas cap. I don't see anything visually leaking, so that's what we've got to deal with. We've got to try to figure that out. I do have a situation where once I installed the engine, the back end of this car with a swing axle, your axles will, I think I've discussed this in other videos, but your axles are just a straight axle, a pivot in the middle. When we got the weight of the engine on the car, it pushed the back of the car down enough that I've actually got kind of a, it's squatting a little bit. You can see the back tires are pushed in at the top and out a little at the bottom. Lifting the rear suspension up an inch or so will probably straighten that out pretty good. I have a throwout bearing that is making a ton of noise, so that engine needs to come out, and I need to put another throwout bearing in it. And I have a couple of small oil leaks. So that's kind of it for the car. Everything else seems to function well. We were out on the highway, and a couple of the shots that I'll show you in this video, or have shown you in this video at this point, we hit 70 miles an hour in this car at one point, and I held the camera out the side of the car just so you could see the wheel going down the road and get kind of a side view. That was a 70 mile an hour run, and the car felt great. It really wasn't shaking around too much. I've got a little bit of a wobble in the front end that is probably just alignment. It probably just needs a little more time spent on the alignment to get it right. But no big deal overall. I mean, the car functions perfect now. I don't advise taking a dune buggy on the highway at that kind of speed anyway. Most of them are a little bit squirrely at high speeds. But this just felt right. It felt good. It corners and handles pretty well considering nothing's really dialed in that much. So I think that's going to be our next steps with this car is we'll do the throwout bearing, we'll fix all these other things that need to be done just to kind of make it as good as it can possibly be, and then we'll go from there. And at that point it's interior and I'm pretty much done with the car and we'll move on to the next project. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching all the dune buggies run around. I sure did, being there in person. And I appreciate everybody watching the videos, liking, subscribing, everything else. It really means a lot to me that people actually care about something that I'm doing. It's kind of an odd thing to see that, but it's really cool. I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great day.